Hey, it's the Empire, Boxing Empire, Boxing from Boxing. Now, man, wild stuff, man, wild stuff. analyst, analyst for YouTube, ESPN, and whatever platform he goes on. Teddy Atlas has been around boxing for years now, and he's exploring his options with training former champion, IBF, IBO, WBO, NWA champion Andy Ruiz, and he wants to train him in New York, man. Now, Teddy Atlas has some harsh words for Andy Ruiz, man. Teddy Atlas has some harsh words for Andy Ruiz, man, and it's sort of shocking. Now, I'm gonna read a quote for you guys. It puts everything in context. It says, and I quote, this is from Teddy Atlas: "With a kid like Ruiz, it's almost like dealing with," and this is gonna sound harsh, and I don't mean to sound harsh, but again, the truth sometimes can sound that way. Atlas explained it almost like dealing with a drug abuser. You know, he's got a problem with eating. And if you had a kid that you're really trying to save from drugs, what would you do? You don't have to be a drug counselor to understand that you'd remove him from things that are comfortable for him. You remove him from surroundings. Well, the same thing with the Ruiz. If I have to remove him from his surroundings, oh, Teddy, you don't want his father? You don't want him with his father? Oh, you don't want him with his family? Oh, you don't want him with a dictator? Yeah. If you want to call it that, go ahead and call it that. You have to do what you're gonna do to be able to change things. So that's Teddy Atlas, man. He calls Andy Ruiz's eating habits a drug problem. Now, this is a really big deal, man. Teddy Atlas seems like he has no respect for, Andy Ruiz. Yes, he's saying some things that are true, but I mean, does he have to let everyone know this guy has a serious problem with eating? A lot of times, let me just say it like this: there's a lot of times fighters hide injuries because they don't want their opponent to know that they're injured, right? If they have like a cut eye or whatever, they can't see it their left eye. They don't want people knowing, so they don't get hit with like a straight right or something like that. They don't want their weaknesses out there so their enemies can capitalize on it. Andy Ruiz still, in my opinion, had everyone fooled because he looks big, but the guy's an athlete at heart. But now Teddy Atlas is saying, yeah, this guy actually does have a real problem with eating, and people are gonna always try to outmaneuver Andy Ruiz now. Andy Ruiz was always is an elite level fighter, and I think that there's more ways to help fighters than just exposing their weaknesses, like, on national media, and just letting everyone know, hey, this guy, his biggest weakness in his last fight, it wasn't a fluke, it wasn't his trainers, this guy actually has an eating problem. I mean, while that could be true, you don't let everyone know, man. You just don't let everyone know. So that's how I felt about Teddy Atlas saying those things he said about Andy Ruiz. And in my opinion, in this case at least, I think Andy Ruiz should have most likely stayed with his trainer, because when you have a new trainer, man, it's just, in my opinion, at least with Andy Ruiz's case, when you're with the trainer you've been with since you're a kid or whatever, that guy is like a family member, damn near, because he can come to the house. His wife, Andy Ruiz's wife, will know the guy. The kids will know the guy. Everyone's gonna know the guy. He can come over whenever he wants to. He's basically like a second father to the fighter, because they spend long time together on training camps, in some secluded place. Now, Andy Ruiz in this case trains with, in his state, but there's times where he does travel to train. So you're in an isolated place with another man, and he's teaching you how to fight at the highest levels in boxing. That's some real bonding right there, man. That's some real bonding right there. And when you have a new coach, that familiarity is gone, especially when you're not in camp. So you can't, if you're a coach and you're new, you're not gonna just pop up this guy's house talking about, hey, how's Andy doing? Is he doing what he's supposed to do? It seems more like intrusive and more too business-like. If you have someone you've been with for a long time, like Andy Ruiz's past coach, like I said, like a second father. So, he can come around and check on Andy when they're not fighting and make sure Andy's doing what he's supposed to be doing, staying out of trouble, things like that. Like I said, Teddy Atlas, a little bit too much too late, in my opinion. While if they were doing this for a long time, I can see that. But like I said, Teddy Atlas has an approach that's, you can't just do things like that if you're not familiar with the guy. And when I mean familiar, you have to know the guy for a couple years to be on that hey, this guy has an eating problem. I don't know if I can train this guy. He looks like he's a little bit too comfortable where he's at right now. He needs to be in some foreign secluded place with me where I'm comfortable at. He's trying to take Andy Ruiz out his comfort zone so Teddy Atlas could be more, comfortable where he's at in New York. That's what I'm taking out of this, man. So I think, Teddy Atlas and Andy Ruiz are not seeing eye to eye at this point. To just simply come out and say that, I'm not sure if, this is ran through by Ruiz, but I doubt it, man. I really doubt it. So we're going to see how this whole thing unfolds. Teddy Atlas talks about how his game plan for Andy Ruiz, he basically said he's going to fight a soft touch in the beginning. It's in the bottom of the article. I might as well read it. Fuck. All right, okay, this is what Teddy Atlas said. It said it wouldn't be about the next fight. Atlas said, yeah, he's going to win his next fight. Who do you think he's gonna fight? Look, we're gonna tell the truth. We're gonna talk the truth. So first, it's gonna be a KO. Then it's gonna be a tough fight. It's gonna be a tough one. And then what's the objective here? Teddy Atlas come in for the win for the next fight, to win the next 2 fights, or is it able to have life in check, have control over his life, have true success with his life? What is it about? All right, man, that was everywhere. But, basically he said that he's going to have a soft touch, tough fight, and then he's going to fight a little fighter. Like, that's what you're supposed to do in boxing, You're supposed to fight. If you're going to have a new trainer, man, you're going to have to soak everything in. It's going to take at least like a year to get everything soaked in, maybe a year and a half, to really get what the trainer is trying to teach you and apply it. And with Andy Ruiz, it's more about being in a different kind of environment. Teddy Atlas is trying to make him uncomfortable, and the weight problem, to drop that kind of weight that quick is unnatural. So he's gonna have to take time, and Teddy Atlas wants time to make this happen. So that's Teddy Atlas' take on it, man. I'm really excited how this whole thing is gonna play out. Anyway, man, let me know how you guys feel about it though. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire, Geobasking Empire. Peace.